All right, let's go ahead and kick it off here. Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Good to have everyone on. If I could, I'm pretty sure I know all the MVPs in the on the call. But if you could just go ahead and raise your hand there in the meeting, so that I make sure I can easily see you there. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Well, welcome, everybody, to MVP Office Hours. Good forum for admins and developers alike, and to ask questions to the MVPs. So if you're new to the call, any question is good. No question's a bad question. So just a couple ground rules, and the first one being mute if you can. Mute your line, whether that's your headset on your phone or through the meeting. Just mute yourself if you're not speaking, because we're just going to leave all lines open for questions. You can raise your hand within the meeting if you have a question that you want to ask. You can also type it into the chat in the online meeting as well, and we'll pick from those. And if we're not getting any questions, we'll start asking on people. And I mean, if you're sitting in, that's fine. That's totally fine. If you want to just let us know that you're sitting in, that's totally fine. So real quick, my name is Jared Kingston. I work for Apereo, and I'm a new Salesforce MVP, actually. So pretty excited about that. Really just acting kind of as a host here. And then we have some other MVPs on. So if I could have the MVPs just kind of quickly introduce themselves, and I'll start at the top, going in alphabetical by first name. So Bill, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Bill Greenhall. I'm also a new MVP at the same time Jared just got it. So glad to be on the call.
Awesome. Brendan.
Hey guys, I'm Brendan Conroy. I work at a company called Market Metrics, and I'm also a very new MVP, so I'm super stoked.
Sweet, thanks. Deepa?
Hi, I'm Deepa Patel, and I am, I guess, now considered a veteran MVP. And I have my own consulting business, and I'm also a Silicon Valley user group leader.
Awesome, thank you. And Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jackie Travieso, new MVP this year. I'm also a user group leader for the Tampa Bay group, and I am also an independent contractor.
Very cool. And I don't think I missed anybody there. So, cool. Well, thanks guys for being on. All right. So, what questions do we have out there? And Deepa, you're welcome to lead off with your question.
All right. So my question is, I have, and this is actually for a client. We have a combination of web form with ring lead in the middle, with webs coming into the system. And we have a pretty complex assignment rules to have the leads routed based on the country to go to a particular queue. And because we're using country list, it's a fairly long list, and we had to divvy up Asia and EMEA into two separate rules, starting with A to M and then L to, Z. So ring lead issues, we know how to troubleshoot, because then we get the errors and we look at the logs at ring lead and go and address that with them. But when routing issues fail within Salesforce, the question I had is do the SFDC debug logs help, or is that just an Apex debug log? How do we figure out what went wrong with the routing? And that's a technical piece that I don't know. Does anybody know that? And unfortunately, we don't have Joshua, so I'm not so sure. But I didn't know if there was any debug logs or anything for when a routing fails. Does anybody know that? Or maybe I should just post it in the MVP group and see if somebody knows. But I thought
Yeah.
I'd put it out there.
Yeah, does anybody have any advice on that?
Silent.
I'm not completely sure, but I would have to think that the debug logs would have something in there.
They don't, because I opened up a debug log and it's all APAC in
Interesting.
there.
Huh.
Yeah, debug logs does workflow, assignment rules, validation rules, and APEX.
Yeah. There's
Outside of
nothing
that,
on,
not going to
that's
be
not, well, assignment rules, I don't see that. I see DB info, system debug, validation info, visual force info, workflow info. But assignment rules are not workflows. Profiling
yeah,
info.
supposed to do assignment rules as well. Not saying that that's just by documentation, but
Okay.
I've never used it to debug assignment rules, just workflow and validation rules. So
And who's that speaking?
this is Bill Greenhaw.
Oh, okay, Bill. Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And
nice to meet you.
congratulations.
I think the best route's going to be is posted in the MVP. Yeah.
I probably will, because in this debug I don't see anything about, oh, I do see WF rule eval begin assignment. I'm not so sure if that's assignment rule or workflow. All right, I'll put it on MVP group. And then you know what, guys? I'll come back and share it, whatever I find out. But that was my
Great.
only question.
Yeah, it's good. It'll be interesting to find that out. All right, who else has a question? Any questions out there? Feel free to speak up, post it in the chat, or we'll
I have
just
a
call
question
them.
about dashboards. This is Annie
Yeah.
Scheck.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm fairly new with dashboards, and a lot of our typical dashboards were set up by our consultant. So they may be basic level questions, but how would I go about changing the running user, and also what control do I have in terms of setting refreshes for these dashboards?
Cool. Another MVP want to take that?
Okay, so first of all, Anne, do you have admin privileges?
Oh yes, I am a system administrator.
Okay, and so if you go into the dashboard and give me a second. I'm so visual. Hang on a second. I'll tell you exactly where to go, because when you click the edit button for the dashboard, like when you actually edit the dashboard, on the top right, there's a drop-down says View Dashboard As. And this is where you change saying Run as a specified user or Run as a logged in user. And that's where you want to change it to Run as a logged in user. And the reason you want to do that is because when it refreshes, it shows everything for the logged in users. If there's security, the security will take into effect.
Right, great.
Otherwise, it will run if the consultant used a system admin ID, then if it was run as a specified and he saved it with the system admin user ID, then the dashboard will show everything and security will not take over.
Okay, I see. So I also should not let authorized users change running users.
It depends, right? So it depends on the hierarchy. Like if you have a executive, let's say a VP of sales, and he looks at the dashboard, he sees it based on his security and based on his roll-up hierarchy, right? Like he is going to see everything that's below him as well. And so let's say he wants to go in and look at the dashboard for a particular, sales rep under him. Then if you give him that privilege, then, he will be able to then go in and change the dashboard for that particular user and run it. Ideally, you don't want it going up in the hierarchy, but you want it going down in the hierarchy.
Right.
So if you have like like if you in this case where profiles come into play, where you might have a different profile just for the VP of sales, so that you allow them to look at other people's dashboards, but not anyone else.
Okay, I see. And then in terms of the frequency of the refreshes, besides, I know I can manually refresh on my homepage, but is there a way where it's just automatically refreshed every day?
I don't think so. What ends up happening is when you log onto your home page, you have to refresh it. I'm trying to think because I know there's scheduled reports. I'm trying to remember if there were scheduled dashboards, and it's been a while since I've done any dashboard thing.
Yes, you can. You could schedule a refresh.
Yeah, you can schedule a refresh, but in there, I don't think you can use the running user. Like scheduled dashboards doesn't allow the option of run as logged-in user.
Yeah, correct.
Scheduled dashboard doesn't allow running as logged-in user.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There is another cool, and this is just I guess an add-on cool deal, and I can post it to the MVP office hours. There's a way you can actually you can add a little component to your sidebar that will automatically refresh your dashboard on your home page, and it does it anytime you go to your home tab. So whatever dashboard's on there, you don't have to click refresh. You just go on there, and it'll automatically refresh the dashboard component.
Is it an AppExchange app?
I don't believe this one is.
Do you know? So who designed it? Do you know?
Oh, it's been a while since I put this in my dev org. Let me see if this one. Yeah, I don't believe it's a actual app. It's just a.
All right. Why don't we post it when you find it and
out.
what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post it out there for everybody to take a look at. It's just a little JavaScript component that goes in the sidebar, or into the. It actually goes into the wides panel. But
well, if you put it out there, make sure you give instructions, because not everybody's going to understand how to create a sidebar link with the code that you're going to provide.
Yeah, I'll put it out there. I'll put everything out there, so if anybody wants to take a look at it.
All right.
Cool. What other questions do we have? Start calling on some names.
I can actually add a little bit to that last one if there are no other questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is Brendan. Annie, I was wondering, since you're still relatively new with the dashboarding, if the consultant captured all the dashboards that you guys want to see in your org, because obviously you've got 5 MVPs here who can tell you specific ways of capturing it beyond what it potentially is. So do you think that your dashboard system is currently fully filled out, or are there specific things that could be improved upon there?
I think that we have the basics of the basics, but I can see that some of our employees want more specific things, and I'm trying to do it for them, and not sure if I can produce what they're asking for. So, for instance, they wanted a snapshot of their leads with more details than I can produce. Most of the leads, the type of dashboard I'm able to create lists the lead name, and then it has a record count, but our staff wants more details like the organization name, the project title, and the amount requested, and I'm not sure if a dashboard can be that descriptive.
It actually can. It just depends on how you structure it. Like what's one specific use case? Do they want industry by how much is in the amount or something like that? We just have to be specific.
I mean, overall, it is a count. We want to
Okay.
tell them that there's 4 pending leads that they need to address, but basically it's pending leads and then the details of those pending leads.
Okay, and would you mind defining what pending in your org's case is? Does that mean ones
So they
that have to
haven't
be?
reviewed and made a decision.
Okay, so haven't been viewed by the owner. I'll take it. Yeah, because you could make. I'm trying to think of how you could make that into a dashboard as well. Let me try something.
Okay, so there is here's how dashboards work. Dashboards work on summary data. So even if you create like what we call a table dashboard, there's a component for a table dashboard that allows you only 4 columns. But that is once again dependent upon the summary, report summary. So ideally, what they want cannot be really presented in a dashboard at the detail level. Having said that, you can, like what you can do is you can summarize, like you can say, here's a count of the leads, with whatever your criteria is, action not taken upon or pending is. What you can do is you can summarize the leads, like pending leads by, let's say, all the responsible BDRs or sales reps. That's your high-level dashboard. And then when they click on it, they go into the detailed report that resulted, and that detailed report can have all the fields that you want to present to them from. Now, one more thing. You said account. Are you talking about companies? Because leads are completely separate from accounts. Are you guys using leads, or are you guys using contacts as leads?
Our leads are actually called inquiries because I'm working in a foundation, so I don't want to confuse everyone.
You're on a nonprofit?
Yes.
And are you on a nonprofit startup hack?
No, we're using Foundation Connect.
Which is an app built by someone?
Yes, by NPower.
Oh, okay.
So our leads are inquiries, and our opportunities are full proposals.
Yeah, and you can rename it however you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the underlying, like when you have your inquiries, is the company information in a separate object? Like, is that a link in your contact record, the company information, or is all of it on one page?
I mean, it's connected to an account.
Yeah, so see, that's not like really, I don't think you guys are using the lead record. I think they're using the account and contact record. So regardless, you're going to have people that are going to be responsible for those inquiries, right? Like, do you guys assign those to a particular person to follow up on?
Yes. So we
right.
assign it. We have like a pick list and workflow embedded in it. And if we assign it to, say, myself, I will get an email, an automatic
But
email.
do you change the owner to you? Do you change the owner record to you? Who owns that record?
Well, it comes through a portal. I believe it stays. Let me double check. The owner, it might actually be a portal user.
All right. So let me there's 2 ways to do this, right? Like, if you guys are using pick list values, then what you want to do is you want your report summarized by pick list value, and that's your internal people. If you own the record, you would summarize it by the record owner.
Right.
Okay? And what that does is that will give you a detailed list by each person. But then when you create the dashboard, you only use that summary, and what you do is you count the number of records for that particular person. So the executives can see that at a high level that out of all the leads, this person has the highest that are pending, this person has the lowest, kind of, and the example that I use, kind of like which we teach in classes, and you even get it from when you download dashboards and reports from the Salesforce Lab called it kind of like wall of shame, but that's not what we want to call it, right? But you can have where you can have pictures of the users if that's what they want, or you keep them anonymous. But the best way to do this is going to be is you create a report with all the fields that you want, summarize it by either the pick list value or the owner, whichever works for you, and then turn that into a dashboard and then give them either a bar chart or a pie chart or something that shows them the value of those people and the number of leads that are pending.
Right. I mean, that's pretty much what we have right now. And so my question, and they can go in to see the report and see
That's the only way you can do it. You can't get a dashboard with that much information. As I said, the dashboard uses summary information, and if they want it, then you would have to summarize every lead. Mm-hmm. And you know what? There's also limitations on how many leads show up or how many records show up on the dashboard, right? So do they not like clicking on the dashboard and going to the report? Is that an issue for them?
If we have a particular dashboard where it has multiple, not owners, but for that pick list of who is assigned the inquiry, once they click into that report, it's a little bit complex and a little bit unpleasant to the eye, the detailed report. So I was just wondering if there was an easier way.
Well, this is the easiest way because once again, dashboards is a summary. It's not a detail, right? So what I would say is, do you guys have a sandbox or no?
We have a sandbox. We don't have a full sandbox with our data.
Well, it's not that hard. Do you know how to use the data loader at all? Oh, you know what? Here's what I'll do. Okay. Stay in your production org, build the report that you want, and put it in my, oh no, you can't get it in a dashboard if it's in your personal custom folders. Your options are where you take some of your data, and have you used the data loader at all?
Very, very little.
All right.
Once. I've used it once for one.
So the process you will need to follow, and I'm trying to think who can help you. I mean, I know that I'm more than willing to help, but right now I'm like maybe one of the other MVPs can help, but you literally need someone who can walk you through this process. And the process is going to be, if you write down the steps of the process and see if you want to look at some YouTube videos and make it work for you. First, you need to export your data from the production, okay? Not full data, just a little bit, or maybe even the full data. And then once you get those Excel files, you need to break them down because Sandbox only has 10 megabytes, although with Winter 14 it's going up a little, but it's still not going to fill your full data, right? So once you've exported the data, make sure you refresh your Sandbox so it's absolutely current. Then upload that data into the Sandbox. Build that report and dashboard in the Sandbox so it doesn't interfere with your production. Show it to the executives and say, is this what you want? And they go, no, then go tweak it, get it right, and then go rebuild it into your production. Now, you can use change sets, and that's something that it's so hard to teach you since you're still so new with change sets. It's going to be easier for you to just go into production, redo what you did, and make sure you take notes what you did in Sandbox.
Right.
And usually I help people out, but it's just like right now I literally am under the gun to get a lot of things done before Dreamforce.
I know. I'll see you guys all there.
Yeah. But this is the process you'll have to follow. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
and once again, if you have questions, post on the MVP office hours so that all of us and even all the other MVPs that are part of that group will be able to help you and give you answers like, just very specific question. This is what I'm doing, and here's what I'm having a problem. How do I do this? And then somebody will help you out. And go ahead. Jared, that was you talking, right? I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll shut up now.
No, you stole it. You said exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, post it to the group, and we will. Yeah, we'll crowd help you. So definitely do that. And since you're going to Dreamforce, come check us out at the Success Community Zone at the Hilton Grand Ballroom. We'll have a Genius Bar there. Pretty much, we'll have it every day. The times vary, but you can come ask us questions there. And since you're a nonprofit, we'll have some nonprofit stuff going on as well there to help
we
out.
also have, don't we have like a group that's doing like a little bit of pro bono work?
Yeah, there is a day that we're
MVP
doing. Yeah, we're doing pro bono work. If you give me a second, I can actually tell you the day that that's happening. Real quick. Dreamforce.
Who gets to it first?
Yeah. MVP. All right. So
It is
the
on
day.
You got it?
It's on Tuesday.
It's on Tuesday from 2 to 4. So,
Great.
and we actually have a spot. One of the main topics is reports and dashboards. So, I'll myself will be there for the first hour at least, and then I'm looking at the schedule here. I mean, we even got the infamous Steve Moe there. He'll be there, so we'll have other MVPs there as well. So definitely come check us out then. And then overall, just in general for everyone, come check us out at the community area, and we'd love to just chat with you and get to know you. So
Awesome.
yeah, cool. Do we have anybody else that has questions? I noticed some
Yes.
maybe some other people jumped on, but
Hi.
what other questions do we have?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Farhad. Can you give your opinion and feedback about an app that I just created recently? Is it possible to ask this kind of question here? Hello?
Are you talking about like to give you feedback on what the app is doing, like without really installing and looking at it?
No, you can install it and look at it. That would be fantastic.
I'm not, Jared, do we do that on this? Usually this is more where we answer questions that people have.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we do product evaluations on here.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is more for asking admin, developer type questions. So, I mean, you're welcome to post it out to just out in the community in general.
Yeah.
And, people can pick it up there. But that would probably be a better medium for it. So.
Because Layla, Layla? She told me that I could come here and ask you guys.
Who's Layla?
Layla Sika from App Exchange.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said you guys would definitely help me out here. But
yeah,
I'm assuming she was saying the MVP group as a whole, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the best way is just to post it. I mean, you can definitely post it on the MVP office hours chatter group. You can post it on just in your feed in general. But yeah, if you want to post it out there, yeah, I think that makes sense.
That's success.salesforce.com, the chatter.
Success.salesforce.com.
Chatter or whatever. Okay, I just posted.
Yeah, it'll be under the collaboration tab.
Collaboration, and then you could download it and you could look at it. I would be really.
What is your app about, really quickly? Just highly explain it to us what it is.
Can I put it in here, the address in the chat?
No. Tell us what your app does.
Well, it is it's called BusyEvents. It is an app that gives you access to tens of thousands of business events, local business events that are not in, for example, other sites like Eventbrite or Meetup. And you could also add the events to your your calendars, or you could add the organizers to the to your accounts, and you could do that. As well as you could create events and promote them. That's really what is a search and promotion engine for professional events.
All right. Well, make sure that you put the description when you put the link. Don't just put the link, just put the description and give a description on how it can help businesses. All right? Like, remember, like whenever you're putting an app out there, it's not just about your app. It's about what is a business going to gain from it.
Yes.
So make sure you describe that really well so that people have an incentive to download and try it out, and you know, give you some feedback. Because remember, on the MVP office hours, it's not just MVPs. We also have a lot of customers there. So clearly define what your product is and clearly define what the benefit it is for the customers, and then put a link there. Otherwise, you won't get any response.
Okay, I'll put a link and the description, full description on there.
Full description of your product and the benefit. The benefit is the most important point.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Very good.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Cool. What other questions do we have? Deb, you on just listening, or do you have a question for any of the MVPs?
Just listening in today. This is my first time to attend.
Awesome. Well,
welcome.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you.
See, Kim, do you have a question or just listening?
Hi. Yeah, it's my first time on the call as well, and I was just listening in today. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And let's see, Michelle, do you have a question or just listening in as well? Okay. Anybody else have any questions? If not, we'll.
This is Deb. I do have one question.
Yeah. Okay.
As I was sitting here waiting for my Eclipse, one of my Eclipse orgs to refresh, and sometimes it just takes forever. And I was wondering if anyone out there is using any alternative IDE to Eclipse. That I can't use just the Workbench. There's just some stuff that doesn't work as well for me. So I'd rather have an IDE, but I didn't know if there was a better alternative to the Eclipse plugin.
So, go.
You got this there.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead if you have a.
Yeah, I mean, Eclipse is by far the most popular, the most maintained. The only other one I know of is called Brain Engine, if you want to check them out. They have both a downloadable and an online version.
And what's that called again?
Third-party Brain Engine. So it's brainengine.net.
Okay.
So they're third party, so there's a cost associated. So not directly, supported by Salesforce. But that's the only other idea I know of. But again, Eclipse is the most used, and so you're going to find the most documentation and help with Eclipse as well.
Okay.
Even though
Thank
I
you.
know there are times that Eclipse can be a little frustrating at times though too.
This is Andy Betcher. Actually, what platform are you developing on, Windows or Mac?
Windows mostly.
Okay. If it's Windows, then yeah, it's just Brain Engine and Eclipse, and then also the developer console that's already inside Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little lagging behind some of the other packages for the full rounded feature set, but it's still something to check out. You can do full code manipulation. There's autocomplete built in there. With Winter 14, there's coming out code searching capabilities, testing, anonymous Apex, all kinds of stuff that's built into the developer console.
I use it to run like some anonymous queries and stuff, but I don't find myself using it really for development work. For actual coding. So I guess maybe I'll make the transition eventually, but
Yep.
Okay.
The only other option, the reason I asked about the platform between PC and Mac is if you were using a Mac or have access to a Mac, there's another platform called Maven's Mate that works pretty well as well.
Okay, well I do have access to a virtual Mac, so maybe I'll try that on there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Cool. Good info. Yeah. Yeah. I personally use Eclipse right now, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of great tools out there. So, anybody else have any other questions? Anything?
This is Annie again.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not like hogging the mic.
No. Hey, go ahead.
So I recently built a special object for a specific department. And is there any way to, measure user activity? Because I kind of want to understand how often people go in and use it. Just kind of gauging like if our staff members are adopting it at all. What do you recommend?
Do you want me to take it?
Sure.
Sure, John.
There's a free app on the App Exchange called FieldTrip, FieldTrip, and it's developed by one of our MVPs. If you install that app, what that does is you do an analysis on that object. And that analysis will give you a field-by-field analysis on which fields are populated, how often. So it's like gives you a percentage. It tells you the number of records that are in the system and gives you a percentage on which field is being used how often. So it doesn't give you by user, but it gives you an overall idea of how many records are added into the system. So that's your first gauge right there, And how many fields are people filling out? And the fields that they're not, you can do an analysis and say, why aren't these filled out?
Great. And it's called FieldTrip, you said?
Yep, FieldTrip. If you look on the App Exchange, and it's free.
Okay, great.
And I've got to ask, Annie, what edition are you in for Salesforce?
If they're nonprofit and they built an app, more than likely.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're a nonprofit, so that would be why. I was just mentioning that because in the case of FieldTrip, professional and under can't use it. But yeah, since you're a nonprofit, that's no problem.
Okay, great.
So you can't use it, Brendan, huh?
That's right. It stinks.
Education, man. Education.
I know. Just to give you all a little perspective on what we're talking about, I'm in professional and we have a total of 51 licenses. So I keep trying to convince my my company to go to enterprise with little success so far. So a lot of the MVPs give me a little bit of a hard time for still being in professional.
We love you, Brendan.
Thank you. And I love having enterprise envy.
This year's the year. Anybody else have any questions? Anything we can help with? If not, I will. We can go ahead and wrap up today's call. I will mention before we wrap up, I saw Matt Brown just tweeted, I guess about an hour ago, that just over 1,200. If you're going to Dreamforce, just over 1,200 breakout sessions have been unlocked in the Agenda Builder. So go check it out.
Wow.
And if you want to get to any of the hands-on training, and you actually are lucky enough to find any open, grab them.
Yes, absolutely. Go to those. They're great.
Was it launched, the Agenda Builder, was it launched like the night before or something?
It was Pacific time, supposed to be midnight on yesterday, so the 10th at midnight. It actually opened up a little early.
Oh, okay.
Strangely enough, in my case, I'm in Pacific time. I logged in at 10:30, and it was open, and I registered. So I don't know what it was, but I guess I lucked out.
Yeah, it opened up a little early.
Yeah, so definitely make sure you get that all built out. And if we don't have any more questions, we'll give people time back in their day. Just a couple notes. You see this, if you're in the online meeting, you'll see the slide up there. You can always, I'll post out the new registration link for the next one, which will be the 25th, so 2 weeks from today. So same time, same place. We'll post out the new registration link. You can also check out all the recordings out on the MVP Office Hours chatter group, and spread the word to anybody else that that needs help. We'd love to help them. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Please stand by.